Good morning. I wanted to talk about something that was on my heart this morning. So today I woke up feeling pretty heavy. You know, those days where you're melancholy and just overwhelmed. And honestly, I try my best not to look at the news. I might look at the news, like major outlets, for 10 minutes just to keep in touch with what's going on. But sometimes you turn on your phone in the morning, and if you have any type of subscriptions or reminders, things will pop up on the phone. And a lot going on in the news. And the headlines are a lot to take in. So with all the instability and the division, sometimes we just let that sink in. And, you feel a tightness sometimes in your chest, right near your solar plexus or heart center. And your first reaction is just to shut out the world. That's kind of how I felt this morning. But I sat with that feeling and something shifted. I realized that this feeling isn't just mine, it's in the air. It's part of the larger atmosphere that we all share. And that's when I remembered the truth that I hold on to. And that's, the Most High, the Supreme Being, God, gave us the power and the will to be a force for good in this world. And that comes with a lot of responsibility. Sometimes responsibility we ignore or, pretend we don't have. So if I'm feeling this heaviness, and I know others are too, that means I have a choice and we have a choice. We can let it consume us, or we can use divine will, or the divine will that we've been given, to actually transmute it. So how do we do that? How do we actually start that process? Well, for me, there is ancient wisdom that I use. It's very helpful. And in the school of thought called Hermeticism, it's summarized in a very short and powerful text called the Kybalion. Many of you have maybe seen videos on it. There's a lot of information online about the Kybalion, but I like to think of it as a user's manual for the powers that God has already placed within each one of us. It has a few big ideas, two that really stand out to me. So the first is what we call mentalism. There's a line that says, "The all is mind, the universe is mental." So I'll repeat that. The all is mind, the universe is mental. What that means is that the universe is fundamentally a product of consciousness. Everything we see and feel exists first as a thought. And our minds aren't separate from that. We are active participants. We've been blessed with the ability to co-create within it. Then there's a second idea, vibration. And the text poignantly says, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. And this is so powerful. I'll repeat that. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. It means every thought, every emotion has a frequency. Fear and division, they create a chaotic, jarring vibration. But hope, compassion, empathy, and peace, they generate a clear, stabilizing vibration. And these aren't just poetic ideas, they are the real signals we are sending out into God's creation every single moment. And when you put those two ideas together, the message becomes unavoidable. The state of our mind is a direct God-given contribution to the state of the world. And when I mean God, I'm not speaking of any particular specific religion. I'm talking about the supreme being, the all. So we are all broadcasters. And the real question becomes, what signal are we sending today? So thinking about all this, I went back to that heavy feeling I woke up with. And instead of staying stuck in it, I chose to breathe. And I whispered this to myself. Maybe you can too. Something to this effect. I'm more than these headlines, more than these worries. And the Supreme Being placed me here to be a force of unity, of goodness, and of peace. Because our emotions and our vibrations contribute to the state and the condition of the world that we collectively live in. It affects us first, so you hear and listen to a lot of competent and very on point, manifestation gurus and coaches. And I think many of them, even though they come from different perspectives, one's doing affirmations, one's talking about the law of attraction, another one's talking about the law of assumption. I think they're all doing good to help people be released from this prison of illusion. And I think it's very worthwhile. But what I think we also need to consider is not just our own individual state and happiness, but also as we manifest, let us manifest good in the world collectively. And that's kind of where I'm going with this. I have no problem. I think it's great. We all want to materialize and things, thoughts and dreams that we have inside of ourselves. And I think that we should do that. I think we should walk in that peace and joy. At the same time, as you manifest, manifest goodness for everyone, right? So thinking about some of these things, I started to lift this morning because, not because the world suddenly changed, but because my contribution to it did. I shifted my vibration. And that's our sacred responsibility, to consciously use the power and will we have been given. And it's the difference between just looking on the brighter side and actually choosing to embody it. So, okay, how do we make this real, right? Sounds great. How do we do this on a busy Monday, shuffling in maybe to work, maybe just working from home, getting on your computer, and we're just trying to get through the day and trying to get through the constant barrage of maybe negativity and things that are happening. In particular, this week is kind of a jarring one, right? So I want to share the simple 3-step practice that you can carry into your week. The first step is to recognize the noise. Okay, so as you feel any anxiety from the news or from your day, don't fight it, just see it. Be like an observer. Try to come without yourself, without judging. See it for what it is. Acknowledge it, and then take it as a signal, as a chaotic signal that something in you needs to shift now. So just by observing it, it keeps you from swallowing it and internalizing it. And the second step would be to set your intention. This is a conscious choice, right? So we can, again, swallow it. We can revel in it. We can discuss it at length with coworkers and family and friends, or we can take a deep breath and decide intentionally what we're going to broadcast. In the face of all the fear, we can choose calm. In the face of division, we can choose solidarity. So we decide our signal. So again, that's first step, recognize the noise. Second step, set your intention. And then finally, third, contribute your signal for just 1 minute. Hold that focus and just whisper to yourself that I am a source of peace in this world, of harmony, of balance in this world. And you can simply visualize a calm, steady light radiating from you, broadcasting that harmony out into the world. So if you can imagine just sitting there as you breathe in, a golden light fills your chest and your heart center near your solar plexus. It gets larger as you breathe deeper. And as you breathe out, it just engulfs you and shoots out, where you can see the light now covering your family members, your neighbors, your friends, your community, your workplace, and just covering the earth. So that's the work. It's not passive. It's a conscious, active discipline. And so before I end this, I want to anchor this with one of the most powerful reminders from the Hermetic tradition. And it comes from the Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus. And it says, as above, so below, as within, so without. What we hold within us becomes what we experience without. So if we affirm this together, we can say it out loud, or you could just feel it in your heart. Today, I transmute fear into love, division into solidarity, and chaos into peace and harmony. As above, so below, as within, so without. So, I didn't wake up feeling my best this morning. And I had to consciously, actively work to find it. And maybe that's the truth we tend to shy away from, that the Most High, the Supreme Being, has entrusted us with a measure of creative power here. We have a lot of power, and we're just kind of sitting on that responsibility and allowing life to just happen around us. So our struggles aren't just personal, they're a part of something bigger. And that means our healing, our courage, and our peace are also so much bigger than we think. We can't stop the storm alone, but we are called to be anchors of divine stability within it. Together, collectively, we can change the atmosphere. We can create and establish a stronger thought form that radiates solidarity, peace, and harmony. And instead of just being a bystander, watching things occur that maybe you don't like seeing in a larger sense on the news, or and even in your workplace, in your home, let's not just look on the brighter side, but let's embody it. Let's embody the brighter side. And with that, thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves and each other, and be at peace.